if you really go back through the replay, like Cycle was able to dodge some of these ganks, which then allowed him to get to Radiance and Manta and Blink and AC. So it's like with this draft, it's such high pressure on if Nyx connects, game continues. If Nyx doesn't connect, then everyone just has to hit creeps and pray their opponent doesn't want to just get to game 2.
Yeah, I guess you could make a case for if they were able to dodge BB's initial takeover of their map around minute 21 near their Tormentor. Yeah. If they dodged that and they didn't take any engagements until Yuma got his BKB, then maybe they would have had a shot because they would have been able to fight back before Invoker had a BKB, but it's impossible to know where your enemies are at all times, and it's impossible to dodge every gank. And you have to account for the enemies making a move on you and killing you a couple of times in that mid-game, and what is your failsafe? What's your plan after that? Unfortunately, it feels like in that state, 20 to 30, BB executed their draft perfectly, and they didn't really give Nouns a window to come back into the game at that point.
I also wonder, we see here GPK stat, as mentioned, he had a fantastic game, Lacoste. We knew he was going to be the one playing Invoker. We have had Nouns with the privilege of counterpicking that mid lane. They went for Razor, they put Copy on that Razor in the mid lane against the Invoker. Could they have had a different, like a hindsight, could they have gone for a different hero that could have done a better job?
Considering the heroes that he played so far, I did mention the Earthshaker, which would be kind of worse for the lane, but maybe slightly better for the game. I don't think this is a pick issue. I think the whole composition of their draft and also the speed that their BB is playing, especially the 4 Bounty Runes that we did mention, it changes a lot because whenever we talk about BB, their laning stage, ever since this team formed, has always been strong. So you got to do something about it. And I think picking Nyx Assassin, like this hero doesn't provide you with much in the laning stage. Like he's more about, might kill Enchantress's creep, might land a stun, but his lane presence is not as strong.
It didn't turn out the way that Nouns wanted for this first game. That is 3 games in a row that they have suffered against BB team. Surely they can come up with something, T, that works a little bit better. Because this did feel like a theory-crafted lineup. We said at the very start, these were a couple of the heroes that they haven't gone for before. They knew what was coming. We said both teams seemed pretty comfortable with their draft.
Yeah, I think at least for the Nouns success, Copy's name has been mentioned multiple times, but if he can play a Storm or a hero that punches into the game, like the Sand King game as well, like I think maybe Copy playing into the map helps Nouns survive some of their greed in their drafts. And when he plays a hero that doesn't really have that statement, like Razor doesn't move to an area and go, this is my location. It's like he pushes out, maybe farms a jungle camp, he links a core, he's not killing heroes. And I'd rather see Copy play a killing hero to bring everyone else to life, because if he doesn't, then everyone's just hitting creeps.
I think that, to be fair, the Razor was the reason they were in that game for so long, because if they didn't pick that range damage hero that can rush BKB the way Razor can, they wouldn't have been able to fight for the first Roche. They would have been entirely weak. Like, if that was a Storm Spirit instead, there was no way to play into them. And we talked about how they lacked range damage because they had the Nyx, Monkey King, Centaur that were shown at that point versus a Beastmaster Ags. They had an issue that they had to correct, and unfortunately, Copy was the one who had to try his best to correct it for them. So if it weren't for that Razor BKB rush, honestly, Nouns would have gotten stomped a lot earlier. So I want to be fair and say I don't want to look at Copy's hero here. I want to look at the draft composition before.
Yeah, I think if Copy's having to play this specific type of hero, then I think Nouns are already losing the game. So I hope in the next draft they can set up the blocks a bit better, because Copy, you want him to have a little bit of freedom where it's like, what do you want to play? Like, is it your Shaker game? Is it your Queen of Pain game? Like, is it your Storm, like the Playmaker game? Like, what can you do to just do something? And I think if you are trying to fill this void that Effie's mentioning, then you've kind of put your, potentially star player into a very, very poor position.
Now, we heard our commentary team talk about it at the end of the game there. Is this just a really bad style matchup for Nouns' playstyle versus BB Team's playstyle, Lacoste?
It could be. Sometimes you have, one of the arch nemesis. We've seen Gaming Gladiators against Team Liquid 2023, 2024 as well, that these are just not well-matched teams when it comes down to styles. And I think the same can be said here as well. Nouns, I said it coming into the series that they got figured out slightly. They've been relatively predictable. They try to make something new happen in Game 3 yesterday when they played. It didn't look too impressive. They got rolled over by Gaming Gladiators. So they need to go back what's been working out for them. But the problem is, I don't think they're going to be getting the hands. They might need to prioritize the first pick that they'll be getting. We talked about Luna being the hero of the tournament from the carry position, sitting at only almost 80% win rate. And they might need to, go for either Treant Protector or some Luna, try to make a shift and get something that you've been very successful with in that first pick phase.
Yeah, as we can see here, these are the results of Nouns versus BB throughout this entire season. And first of all, it's looking pretty good for BB team there. 6-1 is a great record, and every time Nouns has let them have the Alchemist, it's a hit for them. So maybe also just remove that one. It sounds so simple, though. I will say it's probably not as simple as just ban out Alchemist, because that's not just the strength that BB team has. And we did discuss it yesterday. Maybe Luna first phase, T maybe Treant Protector first phase. Doesn't sound very pretty, but maybe it could work.
Yeah, annoyingly for Nouns, their success has come from 3 heroes in which there's enough bans to get rid of all 3.
Yeah.
Therefore, they are in a position where it's their playbook is do we have depth for a 4th opening? Clearly, they don't, because they're kind of scrambling at the moment for it. But
when you say 3 heroes, you mean Mirana, Luna, and Treant Protector?
No, I mean openings in regards to Sand King, Timber, and Doom, for example.
Okay.
They're that's what they've used to open the draft in second phase. Then it's they hit you with the tree or the Luna to kind of round it out. But yeah, I think at least for Nouns, I just want to see they have the aggression. Their safe lane wins the safe lane.
Yeah.
Their off lane a little bit more sacrificial than other teams, and that's where it's if you just create these opportunities, it's going to play itself out. You're going to have kills and stuff, but having a Nyx and a Chen and a Centaur and a Razor, it's this is not a draft to fight into BB. It's please don't beat us. We will eventually fight you. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't look nice. Their previous drafts, even when they lose, there's moments where it's okay, cool, you can play it 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. But this draft felt like they were kind of defeated from the get-go. It's you're letting BB dictate the entire game.
Yeah, focusing on BB team here a little bit, as they are the team now with 1 game up, a very comfortable position to be in FE. This is a team that we've had question marks with this event. We talk about the team a lot because they are so high skill, and we do have high expectations from them. Do we feel like the game that we just witnessed, are they coming to be back into form?
They don't look like they're in top form yet, to be honest, because the first Roshan that they took, their execution was a bit sloppy. They weren't ready for Nouns to fight back. Hopefully they can learn from that, but even earlier today versus Talon in that game too, they didn't have any buybacks, right? Which is not a mistake that you make at the main stage. So while they have been getting better throughout the group stage, I don't think that they are the BB team that we've seen at previous events this year yet.
Now, maybe going through the lower brackets is not that bad of a thing for them if they just need more playtime. We'll see if they get even more playtime, though, because, of course, if Nouns force BB team to a game number 3, we'll have an extra game added. Goes for both teams. Nouns will be on the Dire side for game number 2, and BB team on the Radiant side. First pick goes to Nouns, as we have a little bit of a change up in the bans. A Kunkka banned by Nouns. That is a rather drastic change up so far. Makes you wonder, Lacoste. Do they want to pick up Wind Ranger?
Potentially. I think they just need heroes to punch back early on, have strong lanes, get the heroes that can do stuff. I think T had a good point about having quite a lot of these heroes that, would not say fulfill the same role, but kind of makes it difficult to play. Between 15 and 25, you need to slow down the game, which is not the meta right now. We've seen some long games, don't get me wrong, but it's because teams are making the mistakes, they're not robots, and sometimes the game drags post 45, 50, 60 minutes. Kunkka, however, Miero is the one that I kind of like the most of all the other players. He doesn't necessarily go for Aghanim Scepter, which I think is a huge bait on Kunkka. It does look very underwhelming in some of these team fights. Even the fights that you're winning, the damage output isn't really there. So I prefer when Kunkka goes for, whether that's a Lotus Orb, whether you need, Blade Mail into Pipe, into Hex, or whatever is necessary. We've seen Nullifiers being built on Kunkka. So he's the one who understands the itemization really, really well. And I think ATF, when he talked about Miero in an interview, said pretty similar thing where he said he respects him a lot because he's one of the best offlaners right now, and for a good reason.
And speaking of offlaners, Gunnar, who has been the key to their Nouns' success, his heroes are still left in the pool, in the games that they won, I mean. Like, they were opening with Sand King, they were opening with Doom. They didn't open with Mars, but he did look good on it in some games, so... BB team have given them a little bit of flexibility in their offlane pick where they don't need to be pigeonholed into a Centaur. And surprisingly enough, Nouns go for the first pick Wind Ranger over the first pick Doom or Sand King that they've been successful with.
Yeah, slightly intriguing, but again, lock down the Windrunner. They were scared of this against BB because they banned it in the first phase last game, so they clearly respect this hero immensely, hence why they've kind of shifted it ahead of the other heroes mentioned. But yeah, for Nouns, second phase, you've got access to Tree, Sand King, Mars. Of course, BB have only a single ban here, so you expect Nouns to have some of the heroes that have really brought success to them recently.
And don't forget, Lelis also plays Wind Ranger, has played at this event as well, which means either Treant or Luna, or maybe even both, will make it through as long as BB team doesn't pick up one of the two.
And Sand King, too.
And Sand
King being ignored is very surprising.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this Wind Ranger shifted to position 4.
Okay.
It's good. A lot of players have been playing it, coming into Road to TI. I think it's a wasted potential. Sure, you might have a bad matchup when it comes to Doom before you get the Lincolns, before you have some Lotus Orbs from your team. But and also you did mention Treant Protector. Treant Protector, this is something that Toronto Tokyo, when he switched to position 5, he pretty much exclusively played these Clockworks, these Treant Protectors, these melee 5s. This was his hero pool, 2-3 heroes, not even kidding. And he plays it really well, so I want to see if maybe they want to get the hands of it, because they do have the first pick in the second phase.
Yeah, I feel like it's a ban or a pick here for BB, at least. It simplifies Nouns' draft a little bit too much, and at least in the game 1, Nouns kind of struggled to keep up with the draft against them, but okay, they ban out the Omni.
Yeah.
And they pick it, yeah.
It's a great pick, because against Wind Ranger, now you have 2 tools. If we're talking about the itemization, maybe later down the line, you want to have, some extra Satanic, to have a Dispel mechanic, some Lincoln Spheres, but you're fulfilling your inventory, maybe Manta style. That's also been a common item on Wind Ranger when it's necessary in some of these games. That's what carries like to pick up, but Nouns, they're probably thinking right now, do we want to run that Wind Ranger as a position 4 again, which they have not been successful when they played against Gaming Gladiators yesterday.
I don't think they should. I mean, they can still pair this Wind Ranger with a Tusk or a Mercy or any kind of melee laner. Like, they're not in a position where their Wind Ranger is in danger. They go for the Tusk instead. This hero buffs up Wind Ranger's damage severely. He is the body for her in lane, and later on, BKB Piercing disable a means of save with Snowball, which buys you time versus Doom.
I'm not afraid for damage output. Wind Ranger's always going to get the damage. She's paired up with these heroes that you mentioned. I'm more worried about her survivability when it comes down playing against 2 of these heroes. What her damage output is also going to be when it comes down to you get doomed. Are you going to be in the fight? You need to run away. You pop a BKB. You get overgrowth on top of you. So quite difficult one.
Good thing though for Winona is after Maelstrom BKB, Manta is very good on you, and Manta is one of the best items against Doom, because when he goes to cast it on you, when you press Manta, it cancels animation, and he has to reapply it. He has to find the correct hero. So in the big fights, in those moments, you're able to actually kind of juke it out, and then you throw a Drinking Buddy's Tusk to drag the real Winona away, Snowball to destroy it. Like Manta is incredibly useful, and it is kind of it's helpful when your core can buy it against Doom.
Yeah, it buys you time for sure. Hoodwink comes out. I thought maybe we'd finally see the Sand King, but it's gone ignored, which is kind of unprecedented for this tournament. But Lelis has looked good on this Hoodwink. It's another strong laner to secure the side lane. So now you have this winning formula in the safe lane, plus a Hoodwink on the off lane, +1. It should make it so that they don't get rolled over on lanes for now.
I do wanna throw this out there, and I'm not happy about it.
I don't want to catch it either, but please.
Tusk offlane has been played so many times by now, and it is not good, I know, and they did not win a single game, but I feel like I have the job here to make sure that it's on the radar.
They're 3 for 3 on losses,
not.
right?
Yeah, or I think it's actually 3 losses.
Yeah.
3 games, 3 losses.
3 games, 3 losses.
I hope they don't. There are better offlaners out there who can, do stuff. I'm down for some Mars potentially to come out for Nouns.
Let's wait and see, Lacoste.
Huh?
let's wait and see at least. Nouns they clear. Actually, no, they should shelve it.
I believe in them, right? They played 3 offlane Tusks and they lost.
Yeah.
And they started playing real offlane heroes
Yeah.
and they started winning. I believe in their ability to look
pick
at
To adopt
Yeah.
and learn.
heroes.
No, I think what Lacoste was getting at after was like the Mars makes the most sense for them, or even again, still Sanking is available depending what BB sees. But I think now their offlane has struggled in the games that they've lost. I feel like the biggest issue has been like the laning from their offlane. Once the game develops, then they come to life. They kind of emerge to be kind of pillars of the kind of the fight. But at least the first entry to the game, they have struggled. Hence why the Tusk offlane isn't always the best. And
It's gonna give you a team fight. It's gonna give
Yeah, just
you
give me the Mars.
choose where you wanna
Yeah.
take that fight, and also it's a bit of a repositioning tool that you have when maybe you're defending the high ground, and also if you don't want to take a fight pre-BKBs, you get doomed. You can stop the aggression. So Gunner, we can see his heroes. Doom already picked. Timbersaw.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm just down for because I love the combination between Windranger carry and Mars offlane.
yeah,
So
whirlwind inside the arena. Yeah, like it.
super easy to execute.
Nouns esports turn to
The Sand King, though, was
Yeah.
still in, as pointed out already.
I think it's very hard to ignore Sand King because though Mars would have given them a great team fight anchor, I mean, this could still be, Sand King too, by the way. The flex is open. But while Mars would have given them a great team fight anchor, they need the reliable aura buyer, and Mars isn't really an aura buyer, right? He goes like blink, BKB into an aura to fight. And you need to have some kind of means to play into BB's lineup again because their Weaver plus Treant lane is going to be crazy strong. Like you'd be hard pressed to put any offlaner versus these two. And Weaver is also a hero that kites out Windranger. So if you're playing on your Windranger Maelstrom BKB timing, she comes in and Whirlwinds. Weaver's a carry who doesn't care. He Shikuchi's away. He's one of the best heroes at kiting her. So they're going to have a pretty scary timing on BB again, just like in game 1.
Seeing this monkey ban, this says to me that this Sanking probably gonna go mid because it's a bad matchup. They already have Weaver, which is not gonna be flexed here, but also could respect Monkey as a hero. This hero is just
5
insanely
seconds
good.
remaining.
And if it goes mid, the Mars you guys were talking about can still be an option.
Yes.
Because your Sand King from mid can buy the auras, which enables your offlaner to build the blink BKB.
Strategically though, Nouns have shifted immensely from game 1. Like the pairing of Hoodwink Tusk playing onto the map. If they go to a Windrun lane, that should net a kill. They go to a Sanking lane. If they have the lockdown for a Weaver, should net a kill. A little bit more difficult, sure, but like at least they have moves to make, smokes to play with, which is kind of the a very
5 seconds
very different
remaining.
approach than game 1. I think I want to see Sanking mid though. I don't know if I want to see.
They will have to show. I mean, they
Yeah.
can maybe have a hero from
I mean,
the
they don't have
offlane,
last pick, yeah.
but it's gonna be a bit of a stretch to find that good of a hero that is not melee who goes to the offlane and is a flex and can go to the mid still.
But you still can go for the shaker mid, right? That we've mentioned multiple times. Like instant lockdown onto Weaver, then you layer with Sanking after that, with Bushwhack and a punch. Like you got plenty of ways to fight. So it's like it's Mars offlane or Earthshaker mid. That's kind of where I'm sitting at now for Nouns. With Sanking then going to the opposite lane, of course.
We saw a great performance from GPK's Invoker previous game. Is that still something that's on the radar? I'm looking at BB Team's bans of the Storm and the Puck. Invoker still out there. Is that worrying at all or no? Oh
Yoink.
no, it's not stolen. Let's see it then. Okay, what's the counter to Invoker that's still in?
From what he's played so far, that can be good. There's Void Spirit still in the pool.
There's also Queen of Pain, which would give
10
them a lot of
seconds remaining.
like bonus damage, bonus roaming.
I like Queen of Pain in most of these drafts. It also
5
never
seconds
comes out.
remaining.
Yeah. I feel like I've wanted Queen of Pain like throughout the entire road. It's like no one really wants to play it.
We've seen it a couple times, like maybe 3 times total or something like that.
I'm so surprised that that hero wasn't one of the heroes of this tournament because coming into it, the pub meta, everybody was picking Queen of Pain because that Dagon build got buffed so many times. And a lot of the heroes who got nerfed made Queen of Pain stronger on lane 2.
They need a playmaker. They need a hero that comes online fast because your Doom is a bit on the slower side. You have Treant Protector, so your damage is not there. Let's say Snapfire's XP rune gets stolen. You need somebody to play the game to keep this like Weaver in the game. It's a hero that can join early on, but she also needs some kind of a setup. Doom can't just run in and or Treant Protector and say, yeah, good luck, to deal the damage.
The nice thing with taking the Invoker from BB as well is if the game did go later, Invoker can become like another core to make sure Weaver doesn't fall off. And now the playmakers that we're mentioning, if BB do go for them, it puts them on a little bit of a timer where you can get kills, you can progress, but eventually you can struggle. And yeah, they go for a Pangolier. It is going to try and break down the map, but at least for Nouns, when you look at the lamps, okay, there's like a light at the end of the. We can maybe get there this time around. Like, you have the early game damage, you have the ability to potentially outscale BB, but again, this BB lamp is lanes are strong, map play is strong, everything about it screams like they should maybe even just win this game.
Is it then the same archetype of game that we're watching here in terms of Nouns need to just, again, between minute 20 and 30 is going to be the toughest time. They just have to survive.
I don't think they're in the same situation as last game where they're playing into Enchantress, Beastmaster, Alchemist that come online early. Like, they are going to be playing an early aggression game off of the Pangolier, but Nouns can play into BB's draft quite easily. For Nouns, I'd like to see them just win the laning stage because they are set up to have pretty solid lanes, and then after winning the lanes, move your supports to the Invoker, play off of that a little bit, and then just farm your BKBs, because I think that Pango, while a good hero here, does fall off pretty hard in this game.
Yeah, I wanted to see something different from BB Team. I'm not sure if Pango is going to be able to do that. He's been, I would say, slightly underwhelming from the games that I've seen, and I do like what Nouns. I think they made all the right adjustments. They're not going to lack damage. They have ability to punch back early on in the draft as well. I think we might go to game 3 here.
Okay, and are you expecting a bit of an action-packed game with that in mind?
Yeah, most definitely. You have these heroes who come online super fast, maybe a point in Exort for the Invoker. They do have the setup in the side lanes, so a little bit of oomph that could come out from the Invoker early on could secure them the kills.
I just want 3 games. I don't want lower bracket games where it's 2-0. You know,
Sure.
I want the lower bracket to be the most, painful experience possible, where, you really got to earn your way through.
Entertaining experience possible.
No.
Whether it's going to be entertaining, I think it's going to be entertaining either way, because we're going to watch some top-tier Dota. That's just the way it goes here at the Road to the International. Before we head to game number 2, we're first going to hear some words from the BB Team coach, Bulk.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, I'm here with Bulk. And firstly, did this draft go how you expected? And do you feel like you got the upper hand?
Драфт пошел по плану. Чувствую, что у вас есть преимущество.
Не думаю, что у нас есть какое-то большое преимущество. Мы не ожидали инвокера.
I don't think that we have much of I don't think that they have much of advantage, and they did not expect the Invoker.
I see. Okay, so they stole your Invoker, actually. Do you think we'll see Copy be able to repeat GPK's Game 1 performance?
Они скопировали плейстайл, взяли Инвокера. Как ты думаешь, смогут ли повторить успех GPK?
Надеюсь, нет.
Hope not.
All right, and what does your draft do better than theirs?
В чем ваш драфт лучше, чем их?
Да ни в чем, у них тоже хороший драфт.
Not much. They also have a good draft.
All right, cool. So feeling pretty even in this one then.
Чувствуете себя достаточно равными, да?
Yes.
All right. Sounds like we've got a very exciting game on our hands, which means we're going to throw it over to our casters who are ready for this one. It is Sunsfan and Synderen to take it away with game number 2.
Thank you, Nomad. This is game number 2 between BB Team and Nouns.
That was...
Yes?
Those were some short answers from Bulk, but I'm just going off previous interviews that I've seen from him after drafts and tournaments. I think I want to say it's relatively rare that he finds drafts to be that even.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That stood out to me a little bit. I know a lot of captains or drafters or coaches, when they get interviewed, will just say, yeah, both teams have good drafts, we'll see who plays better or whatever, but he usually has a little bit more to say about what advantages they have or whatnot. So I think he genuinely thinks this one's going to be a close one, and I feel the same way. I guess standout heroes, the fact that Nouns got Sand King at the end of the second phase. This hero has been banned against them in their last many games. And the Treant went through the draft, and that one got snagged up by BetBam. Will lead to an interesting game here. So, hang on, a little bit of pressure here onto Saika in the bot lane. as a Gunnar as well as Lelis will bring what they can. This lane, I think, so I found it interesting how on the panel they were a little bit split. How it sounded like T-Gov was favoring BB's lanes and Effie was favoring Nouns' lanes, which usually they pretty much agree that one team has the stronger laning stage. So again, perhaps that even more plays into the, okay, the drafts are pretty even. Yeah. I don't really have a strong favorite in the laning stage, but I do agree that it's incredibly important in this one because both teams have the potential to really accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched BB Team a ton in the past couple years, and this is basically their forte, is winning lanes and then getting a big lead and then throwing that lead away and then still winning sometimes out of that, enough to get a lot of top 3 performances. Is Gunnar, Swarm applied to him. Is he just going to tick down to this? Yes, first blood to Nightfall. Yeah. Not often you see the Swarm actually get the last hit. But
they got the level 2 first. That's a lot of the time. This is how first blood goes down in these kind of side lanes. And it was by so little too. Gunnar almost level 2 and Lelis just now cracked level 2. So that one extra deny, sometimes it is all it takes. And yeah, Weaver plus Trant is a dirty lane to get level 2 in first. Both heroes get so much stronger on that level 2 timing, and they will grab that for themselves. So a nice start for Saika here on the Weaver. We'll bring him to the top of the net worth. Pangolier, Shannon.
Hell yeah!
One of your favorite heroes has a really bad win rate this turn.
Oh, it's because he's been nerfed for 10,000 patches in a row.
And not only is his win rate not great, he generally has been picked very late in drafts and still lost.
Yeah.
You know, the patches where he would sometimes have pretty high win rate, he would be picked overall first or maybe second. This time with even more information, the hero still isn't bringing home the wins. So I guess that's one concern here, just statistics going against BB Team in that regard.
Yeah, I think Barbecue Team, they picked both Pango and Doom, and Doom has been struggling big time in this tournament.
True.
So we'll see if they cancel each other out into a win.
Yeah. I guess, okay, which force is stronger? Is it the low win rate heroes, or is it BB versus Nouns?
Yeah.
What is the...
That's a great question.
Because they're 3-0 against them so far in the tournament.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good matchup for Nouns, as Copy getting really low to GPK. And GPK has been pretty strong so far today, Cinderin. He had a crazy Storm Spirit game, which is kind of his signature hero, if you will. But this time with the Pangolier, we'll see if he can bring that to another level as well. Miero on the top lane playing the Doom, which we talked about, has a very low win rate. What do you think it is about this hero that is just not working, yet it's still, in theory, so good that teams keep picking it?
I feel like it's starting to get a couple more wins recently.
It did get a couple, yeah.
Yeah, so
increased probably from like 10% win rate to 15.
Oh, it's better than that at this point, surely.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he's competing with Pango to who can reach 25 first. What is it about it? Well, I think in part, in some of the matchups that has been picked, teams have been quite good at kiting out the Doom ability. So once it gets cast, they're resetting, they're using their own items. The BKB, they just full reset fights very well. Teams are picking decent saves a lot of the time. Nice body block on Yuma here from Miero. Will actually probably get him killed.
Yep,
what
Yuma
a nice kill.
burning down to the Scorched Earth. Blood grenade to follow, though, from Flight. Gets blocked by his own creeps. No, not able to get any sort of trade there.
So yeah, teams are doing a better job at dealing with being doomed, and I also think there's a decent part of this hero historically has been since the changes to Scorched Earth, he's been better at laning Gunnars. Actually dead.
Yeah, the grasp will take him.
Oh boy, this is a 2K lead minute 5.
Yeah.
This is not looking hot already for Nouns in this matchup. And BB Team, well, they have made a name for themselves for, I want to say 2 things. 1, insane laning, and 2, converting it half the time. But against this team, they've converted it 100% of the time.
So far, yeah, that is accurate.
So this is obviously a very, very good look for them with this start.
I mean, I would say because of their history, BB Team are maybe the most interesting team in Dota.
Decent damage on Toronto Tokyo. They're bringing it back the other way.
Gunnar, oh dear. Third death for him is coming. Nightfall takes it. Yikes. This is not looking good for Nouns. On the other side, I mean, we've seen this from time to time from the Breakfast Bunch team, and they're off to a good start. 4-0 lead right now. Only 1K, but it just feels like all these lanes are going quite... I mean, how's this mid lane going? So Copy 28-5 versus GPK 32-8.
Yeah, it's even, and I think that's generally how this lane is going to go. The main thing Invoker offers in this regard is you're going to keep mana burning Pango, so it's hard for him to rotate. But you're not going to prevent Pango from getting CS Fly.
Yep, level 3 Tusk against level 6 GPK. Okay, Snowball. See if he can time it correctly. Is he actually going to get out of this? Yes. Fly is flying everywhere.
So GPK definitely could have secured that kill by just breaking his ult with Swashbuckle. Maybe he had cooldown? Actually, I don't know if he had used it previously to CS in the lane, but that felt like there was a kill waiting to happen. But nice escape from Fly. Toronto, Tokyo scouting out some jungling shenanigans here from Gunner. Recovery plan happening. He's level 3, Weaver is level 6.
Cookie connection into the Scatter Blast.